I'm gonna try to be the best player I can be, and I'm gonna try to help this team as much as possible, whatever that may be. And um, I feel like I can lean on any of the coaches, any of the players here, and then vice versa. They can lean on me. So I'm just looking forward to playing this season and more to come. And I'm super excited to see what we do.
What's going on, Panther Nation? Let's discuss rookie minicamp for the Carolina Panthers this past weekend, as I think this has proven that Dan Morgan and his front office drafted one of the best rookie classes in the NFL so far. And there's players past the fourth round that showed out over the weekend who brings different skill sets to specifically the offensive side of the ball. I'm gonna touch on that and hearing a lot of like this offense could really explode this summer in training camp. Like you can really see this offense take another step, another leap in a bunch of different ways this offseason, this season coming up. And let's kind of head right into it. Let's talk about the offense, okay? Our first round pick, Tetro McMillan, is going to come in here and be a top two receiver with Adam Thielen potentially. Right now, I would say him and Adam Thielen are the top two receivers. You could say maybe XL because Dave kind of likes XL. I'm going to go over the whole roster here soon, kind of give you a early preview of the roster. But right now, I would say T-Mac and Adam Thielen are top two receivers. T-Mac is a different type of receiver coming into the room right away. You have a bunch of different type of receivers now in this room. I discussed this in my receiver video that I made about 2 weeks ago. But when you look at it in a deep sense, you have a bunch of different guys. Okay, you have a older receiver in Adam Thielen who is just still a great rounder for Bryce Young and that third down weapon that he can look at. But when you look at the rookies who came in, you added a 6'4" possession, great hands receiver in Tetro McMillan. And then in the sixth round, you added Jimmy Horn, who is very about 6 inches shorter, maybe 8 inches shorter, if I'm not tripping on that, than Tetro McMillan, but is super fast. He has a different skill set you can use. Like this wide receiver room has came together so well in 2 seasons in Dan Morgan's first 2 years. That's the first thing I want to touch on. Like whenever you saw T-Mac walk out in these highlight clips and just him playing the game, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFL if he just taps into his potential, because the potential's there, right? Him and Luther Burden, you know how I feel. I feel like they had a lot of potential. I feel like Luther Burden has the most potential, but we know T-Mac has the highest floor out of all these receivers in this draft class, and potentially he has one of the highest ceilings as well because of the fact that his size is so elite and his hands are so elite. So that's the first thing you notice when you look at the receivers is you added two different skill sets of guys. You added one who's going to be outside receiver in T-Mac, who's going to come in and have amazing hands, have the best hands with Adam Thielen. They're going to be neck and neck right away. But you have one in the slot and one on the outside. And then you added Jimmy Horn, who is a speedster. You don't have to use him right away because you have Adam Thielen, right? But I think he has a potential of a receiver. You saw him out there. He has potential of a slot receiver to succeed Adam Thielen when he's gone, potentially after this year. So you drafted two rookies, in my point, who have high ceilings and one that has a very high floor in T-Mac. That's one of the first things that really point out to me whenever you look at the receivers. And then you want to go to tight end with Mitchell Evans, man. Dude, when I saw him, I don't know what he looked like to me. I couldn't really gauge. When I saw him, he's 84. I could not gauge. I didn't know it was Mitchell Evans out there at first. I don't know what it looked like. He's just a big tight end. He's literally huge. He he's just big. He's just big, man. I know JT's also big. He's more like muscular, kind of like boxed in as a tight end. But we know Tommy Tremble put him up to JT and Mitchell Evans. He is not as big as they are. Mitchell Evans is just wide. He's the widest tight end we have in terms of size. I'm telling you, you drafted super well on offense, in my opinion. A bunch of guys that have high floors high ceilings at every position here on offense. And that's kind of the first thing I want to point out is the offense wasn't really the problem coming into the draft. It wasn't really the problem. Even in free agency, we knew Bryce Young. We saw how he's able to work when he came back with limited stuff. So we wanted to just give him certain things, just that one wide receiver. And we got T-Mac, right? But the fact that if you're able to hit on later round guys like Mitchell Evans in the 5th round, Jimmy Horn in the 6th round, if you can tap in and hit those players as well, and they can hit their potential, you win. You win because at the end of the day, this offense is almost complete, right? It is. The offensive line is complete. The running back room you have running back 1, right? But you want a running back 2. Jonathan Brooks can be that if he was healthy. Your receiver room is now full of depth. It's very full of depth, but now you better hope that T-Mac hits potential quickly so you get that true receiver 1 that you hope you can get, but you have depth there. In the tight end position, you still don't have one yet. Okay, you could talk about JT. You like him, what he showed last year. He did not prove enough to be a tight end 1. My point is, if you can hit on these later round guys, your offense is just going to get better and better and better, and you have that stepping stone to where your defense doesn't have to be elite, right? This year specifically, if your offense can take that step and you can have Jimmy Horn do different things like jet sweeps and be that speedster, not even in the slot, just take screen passes, different things, and just be that special teams unit that you want, but also do things for you offensively, you are winning on offense. You're winning on offense, okay? We did not come in here really thinking big on Mitchell Evans, like coming in right away and really making that impact. Yes, it's rookie mini camps. He didn't really do a lot. It's just he looks the part out there. But Jimmy Horn, he looks the part in the slot, and he made an impact, and he just looks fast. He has the tools pretty much. Of course, he has to go in there in training camp and do his thing, but there's also a tone setter as well, as Jimmy Horn stayed after practice and just stayed on the jugs machine with T-Mac after, I don't know what day it was. I think it was day 1. He just stayed after and just hit the jugs machine. I mean, you have work ethic like that with a player like that who has potential there at that position, you're good. So offensively, you're winning the draft in my opinion already. And you didn't have a lot to work on that side of the ball. You just needed to add a little more depth and a receiver 1. And if you can hit on some of these guys, Mitchell Evans can come make an impact right away. T-Mac can be that receiver 1 you want him to be right away. And Jimmy Horn can just make an impact some way. You're doing a great job. You drafted very well. You did a great job on the offensive side of the ball. Now let's shift our attention to the defensive side of the ball, because this one is more harder to talk about because, again, you're not really doing a lot. You're not going up, but you're not doing anything. Like when you're playing defense and you're not like going 7-on-7, it's kind of hard to evaluate you as a team. Let me first start talking about the numbers, because those numbers are horrendous for Nick Scorin and Princely. They're terrible. Okay, they're terrible. Princely is too good to be wearing 33. He's too good to be wearing 33. I just want to get out there real quick. Nick scoring 11. It's not terrible. It's not too bad. But, dude, 33 for a pass rusher, especially your best pass rusher you got in the draft, in my opinion, is down bad. It's down. It's just, I will not be shocked if he's bad now, because that number is so terrible. I know that number can easily get switched, especially if he's good this year. Like, he can have say if he wants to change it next year. But I'm just saying, like, that's a terrible number. I just want to get out there real quick. But in terms of how they look out there, it's kind of hard to evaluate it. Okay, you know how I feel about Princely. I think Princely was my favorite draft pick in the entire draft because of the value we got him at the 3rd round. He was top 5 for me in edge rushers in the entire draft. You got him in the 3rd round. So that's why I was my favorite pick, because of the value you got for him and all that. So, but him and Nick Scorin, they complement each other very well. I mentioned this before. We're not going to be able to really speak on them highly or speak on them that much really until we get to training camp and we get the preseason, when we get to see them in meaningful reps against the offense side of the ball. So right now it's kind of hard to talk and discuss about those two at the moment because of that specific reason. But with that being said, let's get right into Lathan Ransom, who I think, in my opinion, y'all know how I feel about Lathan Ransom. I kind of discussed it after we did the draft. It was one of my least favorite picks in terms of the floor. I thought he had one of the lowest floors with Trevor Etienne, in my opinion, in this whole draft class, just because of the fact that if you turn the film on and you look and you just turn it on, he struggles with open field tackling. He does that, right? So in that sense, we're not going to know if he improved or he's good at that until we see 7-on-7s, training camp, and all that. We're not going to be able to see that, especially in preseason. Okay, so in a way, this is not really a good thing, because that was really his biggest knock whenever we drafted him, was me saying his open field tackling sucks. It sucks. Okay, he is an in-the-box safety. So, of course, he's going to be able to stop the run, but that's not open. I'm talking about open field tackling. Whenever you're in space, you pass on a scrimmage, a receiver catches the ball, and he has to make a tackle on it, he struggles with that. Okay, but in the box, he's great. If he comes downhill and blitzes and gets a TFL, he's good at those things. Okay, but we're talking about open field tackling when we might need him, because we're going to have Trevin Morig, who is a in-the-box safety. So I don't know how we're going to use him specifically. It's going to be interesting. So he's going to need to improve that part of his game. But in terms of what I saw in rookie mini camps, and he looks the part, okay, as a safety. He's fluent. His size is great. He's fast in terms of the things that the drill sergeant he was doing. So in that way, Lathan Ransom kind of proved wrong in a way. He looks the part. Okay, but tackling is going to be a big focus for me. Like when we get to preseason and training camp, I'm going to be looking at that heavy. I'm going to be looking at that big time in terms of if he can step in and be an impactful safety right away. Because I think he can make an impact in the box. But we have Trayvon Moore, who that's his strength. So how are we going to use him? Okay, but if he can work on the open field tackling, he can play more free safety because you need to make tackles as a free safety. You need to be able to play zone. Okay, just the free safety position is a lot harder, in my opinion, than strong safety because strong safety you're doing just one thing. Really, you're coming to the box, you're playing the running back, you're blitzing a lot. So that's going to be a very interesting thing, in my opinion, when I'm looking later on here in the summer when it comes to Lathan Ransom, is his ability to make tackles in open space. That's a big question mark. But I'm intrigued. I'm super intrigued. I think the potential of this entire draft class is through the roof. After rookie minicamps, it proved it. It proved itself. I already feel highly about Princely. I don't really need to see a lot from him. I think he's going to be a Brian Burns type player at worst. I think that's his floor, is a Brian Burns type player. And I think his ceiling could be, I don't know what's a comp on top of my head, but it's pretty high. It's pretty high for me. Nick Scorin, he needs to prove me some things. I'm not really that high on him in terms of become the ceiling part, especially when we're comparing him to Princely. But he has potential, especially in the run game as well, to make impact right away. But offensively, the intrigue level is through the roof with every single player. Mitchell Evans, Jimmy Horn, and T-Mac, of course. So I'm excited. I think the draft class has a chance to be really good. It proved, I think, again, over the course of the weekend when we had rookie minicamp, to be one of the best rookie draft classes so far in the NFL. I think it has. And I'm excited to see how they play in training camp, preseason, all that's going to be able to really give me an idea on who's going to be able to make an impact right away and how much of an impact. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Content's going to start ramping up. I'm going to have about 3 videos out a week. I'm going to have a video out Wednesday. I think that's going to be I don't know exactly. I don't want to say, but I'm going to have videos coming out like this. So if you guys are new, subscribe for me, like for me. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.